They say that the Lord of hosts will come from the east, go into the Holy Land. That is the east of Jerusalem. He will come from Assyria, go into the Holy Land. Assyria is the area where Iran and Iraq are today. They even tells us the place that he will be raised up at. Daniel 8 verse 2, Elam will be the place of the vision. Jeremiah 49 verse 33, I will set my throne in Elam, saith the Lord. Elam is the ancient name of Persia, which is now called Iran. They even tells us the name the Lord of hosts will be known. Daniel 12 verse 1, I will raise up in the end time Michael, the chief prince of Persia. In Ezekiel 1 verse 28, I will confirm things in the end time with Michael the prince. And in Daniel 10 verse 13, I will uphold things in the end time with Michael the prince. Michael, translated into English, is one who looks like God. Another way of saying it, the glory of God. All of these were fulfilled in His Holiness Baha'u'llah, whose name meaning the glory of God. He was born and raised in Elam. As well as in Elam is where his forerunner, His Holiness the Bab, was also born and raised. The Bab declared his mission on the 24th of May, 1844, in Shiraz, Elam, Persia. The declaration of the Bab in 1844 marks the end of the Adamic cycle and the beginning of the everlasting cycle, the Baha'i cycle that will last 500,000 years. Muhammad was considered to be the seal of the prophets, meaning the last prophet of the Adamic cycle. The Adamic cycle started 6,000 years ago and ended in 1844 in the declaration of the Bab, and the beginning of the everlasting cycle, the Baha'i cycle, that will last 500,000 years. The Bab said he comes to prepare the way for the coming of him whom God will make manifest, a reference to Baha'u'llah, and he said he will come quickly after him. He was executed by a firing squad of 750 rifles at the public square in Tabriz on the 9th of July, 1850. He was 31 years old, and just 2 years after his martyrdom, the Blessed Beauty, His Holiness Baha'u'llah, received his revelation in the Siyah, the Black Pit, an underground dungeon where he was incarcerated in Tehran, Elam, Persia, in 1852. And later on, Baha'u'llah declared his mission in Babylon, Baghdad, Iraq, where he was exiled to by the Persian authorities in the Garden of Rizwan by the Tigris River, a festival that is commemorated by the Baha'is of the world as the Festival of Rizwan for 12 days from the 21st of April to the 2nd of May, in 1863. Babylon is mentioned in the Bible as a holy place. In Matthew 24, it tells a story of Christ on Mount Olive, when the apostle came to him in private and asked him, tell us when are these things be, and what are the signs of your coming and the end of the world? In his answer, he gave 3 promises, and one of these promises is when mankind see the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet that stands in the holy place. That holy place mentioned here where Daniel was standing is Babylon. When Daniel had his vision, he was in Babylon. You may ask, what is the prophet of Israel doing in Babylon? King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon and the Babylonians invaded Israel about 600 years before Christ, or year 586 BC to be precise. And they exiled most, if not all, of the Israelites to Babylon. That is how Prophet Daniel ended up to be in Babylon. Old Daniel's vision happened while he was in Babylon. Babylon was made holy by the footsteps and presence there for 10 years of the Lord of hosts, His Holiness Baha'u'llah, when he was exiled there by the Persian authorities. Babylon was made holy was where Baha'u'llah declared his mission in the Garden of Rizwan by the Tigris River, a festival that is commemorated by the Baha'is of the world as the Festival Rizwan for 12 days from the 21st of April to the 2nd of May in 1863. Baha'u'llah was exiled further by the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, first to the fortified city of Constantinople, and then to Adrianople, and finally to the fortified city of Akka in Haifa, Israel. Akka is mentioned in holy writings, as it says in Hosea chapter 2, that we have made the valley of Akka as for the door of hope. In Islamic holy scripture state, blessed is he that visited Akka, and blessed is he that visited the prisoner of Akka. In Baha'u'llah's journey to the Holy Land, it fulfilled one of the prophecies in the Bible regarding the journey of the Lord of hosts to the Holy Land. It says he will go from mountain to mountain, from rivers to rivers, and from sea to sea, and from the fortified city to fortified city. It literally fulfilled by Baha'u'llah in his journey to the Holy Land by his exile. He went from the Kurdistan mountain in Babylon, Iraq, to Mount Carmel in the Holy Land. From the Tigris River in Babylon, Iraq, to the Euphrates River in the Holy Land. And from the Caspian Sea to the Mediterranean and the Sea of Galilee in the Holy Land. And from the fortified city of Constantinople to the fortified city of Akka in the Holy Land. Baha'u'llah arrived there in 1868, and he proclaimed his mission to the world when he wrote to all kings and rulers of the world at the time. These rulers are Alexander II of Russia, Napoleon III of France, William III of Germany, Her Majesty Queen Victoria of England, Nasiruddin Shah of Persia, Sultan Abdulaziz of the Ottoman Empire in Turkey, Pope Pius IX of the Vatican, President of the Great Republic of the West, that is President of the United States of America, concourse of bishops, ecclesiastical authorities and leaders of governments and religions, and much, much more. These leaders represented the whole world at the time, for some of them have sovereignties over so many countries and vast sections of land, like the Ottoman Empire, the British Commonwealth, to name a few, to name just two. In Baha'u'llah's letter to these world leaders, he stated that the all-known physician has his finger on the pulse of mankind. He perceiveth the disease and prescribeth in his unerring wisdom the remedy. One of these diseases is religious fanaticism and hatred as a world-devouring fire, whose violence none can quench. The hand of divine power can alone deliver mankind from this desolating affliction, and for the remedy, it is for them, these world leaders, to put aside their differences and come together in unity and peace and harmony. Unfortunately for the world, all of these leaders except one ignore the all-knowing physician's exhortation. Except one, except Queen Victoria of England. In her response to Baha'u'llah's tablet to Her Majesty, she wrote, "If this is of God, it will endure. If not, it do no harm." It definitely endured, and it did no harm to humanity. In fact, it heightened humanity's spirituality, and it advanced its civilization. Baha'u'llah's sun was set there in 1892, 40 years exactly since the inception of his faith, in a Siyar, the black pit and underground dungeon where he was incarcerated in Tehran Elam, Persia in 1852, fulfill one other prophecies of the Bible regarding the duration of the mission of the Lord of hosts on earth. It states that the duration of the mission of the Lord of hosts on earth will be the same as the time of the Exodus. The Exodus is the time when Moses brought the children of Israel from under the rule of the Pharaoh of Egypt and took them to the promised land, which was known in those days as Canaan. That journey took them 40 years. Baha'u'llah was interred in Baji, the plain of Sharon, in the valley of Akka, adjacent Mount Carmel, the mountain of God, that the Israeli prophets of old said it would be beautified and sanctified and glorified by the footsteps of the Lord of hosts in the end time. This was literally fulfilled when His Holiness Baha'u'llah walked on Mount Carmel and showed the center of the covenant, His Holiness Abdu'l-Baha, the spot on the mountain to build the shrine of his forerunner, His Holiness the Bab, when His holy and where he is to be interred, when his holy remains is brought over to the Holy Land from Persia, where he was executed in 1850. On Mount Carmel is where the headquarters of his faith, the Baha'i faith, is located. On Mount Carmel is where the seat of the Universal House of Justice, the highest administrative body of the Baha'i faith, is situated. All the buildings on Mount Carmel, including the seat of the Universal House of Justice, were built in the formation of an ark, as the Ark of the Covenant. On Mount Carmel is where Baha'u'llah's law is flowing down from to feed his flock and to educate all mankind. You can see how clear it is for all these prophecies to be fulfilled on His Holiness the Bab and His Holiness Baha'u'llah. Both were born and raised in Elam, and both are buried in Holy Land. Thank you, and I wish you well. Whaftailava, manuela whaafonfomaimla whasausanga Samoa. Soifua. Happy Rizwan commemoration to all the Baha'is of the world. Thank you.